Okay, we're going to start off in supta baddha konasana rather than cross legs. So just come down directly onto the floor and just pull your feet towards you. Let the knees fall apart. Get hold of your head and lengthen the base of the skull away from the shoulders as you bring your head down, so that you've got length at the back of your head. If you're wearing glasses, you can just take them off. For the moment, we'll put them back on in a few moments, but just to help the face to relax, just take your glasses off. And then consciously push your heels firmly together. If this is uncomfortable for your hips, put some blocks just underneath the thighs. Otherwise, just hold onto your lower ribs. Just press the feet together gently, but to create compactness in your hips, and allow the knees to draw down to the floor. Just draw your attention into your breath. Observing that if you hit the heels together, you gain extension in the spine. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Just observing the expansion of the rib cage with the in-breath and the expansion of the abdomen with the in-breath, and the relaxation of the rib cage with the out-breath and the deflation of the abdomen with the out-breath. Just drawing your attention into the breath. So while you observe the in-breath and the out-breath, you can just let the feet just soften a little, letting the knees release to the floor. But if that feels too strong in your hips, then just reactivate the feet, push them firmly together. Otherwise, just let gravity open up the inner groin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Just hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. open your eyes. Gently draw your knees together, just being conscious of how much you may have just opened the inner groins, and then just pull your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a little gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto the right side. Stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. And just bring yourself up into cross legs. Hold onto your knees. Hold onto your knees, sit on a lift if you need to, but hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down. As you lift, just observe how you make contact with the ground. Does the balance of the seat bones feel even, or do you feel slightly off kilter? So if you do, just roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the side, and then reset. Just spend a moment to observe your balance. Just consciously go over to one side so that your right seat bone becomes heavier. So you're going over to the right. Just observe how that feels in the seat bones. And then go over to the other side, just observing how that sudden imbalance feels really marked and pointed. So the left seat bone feels like it presses firmly into the floor, where the right one probably feels like it lifts a little. And then bring the torso level, but using the seat bones to assess when you are level. And then again, just lean over to the right side so that the right seat bone becomes heavier, just feeling in the seat bones the off-kilter action of the spine and the seat bones. And then over to the left, and again just feeling how that changes the seat bones. Just remaining there for a moment or two. And then using the seat bones to assess when you are sitting perfectly evenly. So using the seat bones like they're a spirit level. And then when you're perfectly level, feel that you can access the spine, lift the heart area higher. Breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations, maintaining that consciousness of the seat bones. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right. As you turn to the right, observe how balance of those seat bones changes, and adjust the position of the torso between the hips accordingly. Drawing the abdomen across, using the out breath to turn. Just observing if there is resistance anywhere else in the body, whether there is freedom anywhere else in the body. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees. Lift up into the chest and then turn to the left. So through observation and action, we're trying to develop sensitivity. So if we can feel, if we can see and hear the feeling without looking, which is not much to hear like with your ears, but you can hear the feeling through the sensations of the pose, then we become more fully engaged in the asana. Come back to center. Because of course, yoga isn't just about kind of throwing odd shapes, is it? It's about the access into the body and the mind and the breath, bringing those things together. Come up onto your knees, have your big toes together, sit back on your heels and wriggle into the inner heels. So just get hold of the inner heel with your thumb and draw it out to the side. Have the little toes on the floor and then lift up into the chest, sitting firmly back on your heels. Lifting up into the heart area and then come forward, hinging entirely at the hips, keeping the heart area lifted. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Drawing the tailbone down to the heels, lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms. Just feeling how you can intensify the stretch. Just where you connect to the ground, those are the areas that dictate the stretch. So the shins, the seat bones hitting down onto the heels. If they are firmly planted, then we can extend away. Your hands, if they are firmly making contact with the floor, then we can lengthen it away from the hands. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then release your arms, keep the forehead pressing into the floor and just let yourself rest into the floor. Just observe where your body weight goes. Chances are it probably drives itself into your forehead, which can feel a little uncomfortable. So lengthen consciously at the same time as staying in child's pose. Lengthen from the shoulders into the fingertips. We can even grip around your heels. Draw yourself down into the heels. I think lengthening is the most active way of doing it, And the most effective way of drawing that energy away from the head. And then push yourself up into a seated position, just sitting back on the heels. Just observe the energy that you have released so far. Just sitting on the heels, elevate the heart area upwards, broadening the front of the chest by gathering your shoulder blades together. And then turn to the right side, digging the right hand into the floor, bringing your left hand over the right thigh, and turn. Again, just observe the seat bones. Maybe you need a block for that back hand. Turning, lifting, feeling even balance. And then come back to the center. Just observe your energy. And then turn to the left. Again, using the block behind you if you need it. So if you can't find that you kind of lean back a lot to find the floor, then you're going to lose the kind of center of gravity in the heels. So have a block for the hand if you can't reach very well. And then lift the spine and turn. Maintaining the floor as the spirit level. So as you turn, does all of your weight lean onto your left leg? Or can you adjust the position of the torso so that the legs and the seat bones feel even? And then come back to the center. And then we're going to go up into dog down. So come onto all fours, have the hands as wide apart as the mat. Spreading the fingers, spreading the palms. And then turn your toes under. And then come up into dog down. Bending the knees initially to lift the seat bones up towards the ceiling. And then straighten the legs. Feel where the weight of your body lands. Does it land just in one hand, for example? Or does it land only in the arms? Or does it land only in the legs? Chances are your weight is more likely to collapse into your arms than to stretch out of your hands. So press the palms deeply into the mat. Lift the seat bones. Activate the legs. The more you activate the legs, the more you tighten the thigh muscles and the kneecaps and push the shins away from the floor. The more you can find balance in the pose between the hands and the feet. In the pose, observe whether this is left-sided or right-sided or even. So work to level out any internal imbalances in the pose. Sit yourself back on your heels and then just observe your energy. Observe the energy underneath the palms of the hands. Just listen to the breath. Just come back onto all fours. Have your hands shoulder width apart this time. And then Turn the toes under, have the feet hip width apart, and then come back up into dog down. Again, go in immediately for that internal balance. Breathe in deep inhalations and exhalations. Okay, and then come down, back onto your knees, and again sit back on your heels. Just have your hands on your thighs, just again observe the propensity balance of the pose, so which side you feel like you kind of waver onto without thinking, and then even that out. Just finding that internal balance. And then come back into cross legs. So just staying on the floor. Have a couple of blocks to either side of the hips. And then hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Just breathe even, deep inhalations and exhalations. So either in cross legs or half padmasana. If you're in cross legs, maybe sit yourself on a folded blanket. I don't know why I did that, you can't see it. Sit yourself on a folded blanket. Hold onto your knees, lift up into your chest, elevating the heart area upwards. Fill the lungs from the bottom to the top. And empty your lungs from the top to the bottom. Just observe the expansion of the chest and the relaxation of the chest. Observe the balance of the seat bones. And then reach underneath the right seat bone, the right knee, sorry. Reach underneath the right knee, and then bring your elbow onto the block, keeping the elbow directly underneath your shoulder. So you've got this strength of kind of loading, if you like. So the elbow directly underneath the shoulder. So at this stage, the seat bones are definitely going to feel like they have become right hand side centric. So push that right elbow really firmly into the floor, and then try and spread the seat bones across away from that right elbow, so that the left seat bone comes down onto the floor. So I'm getting my descriptions not very clear here. So push the right elbow into the floor and then stretch across to that left seat bone, so that you can find that renewed levelness in the pose. So there's a triangle here, from the shoulder into the elbow, from the elbow into the left hip, from the left hip up into the shoulder, up into the chest. Bring your left hand onto the hip and then turn the chest around to face the ceiling. Just observing how you are distributing your weight between the two seat bones as evenly as you possibly can. Raise the left arm up and then reach up and over, getting that tremendous stretch along that left side of the body, keeping that left seat bone consciously stamping down so that there's levelness in the seat bone, turning the chest. So as soon as you let go of that left seat bone, you lose the stretch. So don't lose the stretch because it's good, it feels good. Come back to the center and just again go back to the balance of the seat bones. Just observing if you have brought the balance back, but maybe the seat bones feel even, but the torso doesn't. Maybe the torso feels uneven, but that's just because of energy. So try to keep the seat bones even on the floor, and have a block underneath the side of the left hip. Reach underneath that left knee and bring the left elbow down onto the block, ensuring that that elbow is sitting directly underneath the shoulder, the right shoulder. And then just feel the seat bones, how you kind of naturally just draw all of your weight into that left seat bone. So push the left elbow into the floor and then stretch across into that right seat bone, making that right seat bone press evenly, leveling out the action of the hips. Keep your right hand on your hip, turn the chest up to face the ceiling, turn in the abdomen to the face of the ceiling. Keep the seat bones even, and then reach over. So sukhasana, just a really good stretch. It's a similar stretch to that you get with parsva, isn't it? Feeling that the seat bones can become level, relying on that left elbow to help level out the hips. And then come back to the center, hold onto your knees. Just feel that maybe the energy of the torso feels more even. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Lift the heart area up to the ceiling and draw the chin down to meet the chest, keeping the shoulders drawing downwards. Feeling that the seat bones are level. Adjusting the buttock flesh underneath if it doesn't feel level. Take a deep inhalation and then drive the chin up to meet the ceiling, stretching out the front of the chin. Take a deep inhalation. On the exhalation, bring the chin back down to meet the chest. Take a deep inhalation, chin to the ceiling. Feeling the levelness of the seat bones, the levelness of the hips. And then bring the chin back just to the center. Take a deep inhalation and then right ear down to right shoulder. But again, this is likely to bring the seat bones off kilter. So go to the seat bones, level it out. Feel the stretch along the left side of the neck. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. So even though that right ear is drawing down to the shoulder, I don't want you to lift that shoulder up to connect it, just keep it down so the shoulders feel level. Take a deep inhalation. On the exhalation, come back to the center and over to the left. Left ear to left shoulder. Just observing the pose from the seat bones. Observing that levelness. Just breathing evenly. Take a conscious deep inhalation, and then on the exhalation come back to the center. Just feel the length of the neck like you're a giraffe, and then right ear over to right shoulder. But all the time being conscious of that propensity to shift the weight in the seat bones. So correct it using the torso so that the seat bones come level, feeling that stretch along the left side of the neck. Take a deep inhalation. On the exhalation, come back to the center, and then again feel how long that neck is as you come over to the left side, left ear down to the left shoulder. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears. Observing the balance of the seat bones. Just feel that clarity comes to the mind through the engagement with the physical body, the engagement with the breath. And then come back to the center. So hold onto your knees. Just go back to the seat bones, just assessing whether or not they are even. If you've got a bad back, just stay at this stage. Otherwise, I want you to pick up the abdomen, draw it up towards the diaphragm, draw the diaphragm up towards the collarbone, come forwards, driving the chin forwards, find the floor. If you can't find the floor, then use blocks for your hands, and then just walk those hands away. So keeping the seat bones down, keeping the seat bones level. So the seat bones will want to become light, won't they? So it's not just a forward bend, push the fingertips into the floor. So be up on fingertips like that. I know you can't see my hands, but fingertips like that. That is okay, but that makes you consciously push into the floor. Try and sit back down onto the heels. Lengthening forwards. Trying to push the fingers or the palms, but the fingers are going to work better. Push them down into the seat bone, into the floor. Feeling that lower back stretching out. And then walk your hands back. And then whichever way you're sitting, whether it's swastikasana or half padmasana, swap the legs around. So that you do the, whichever is your least natural way of sitting. And then this is always interesting, because as soon as you cross your legs the unnatural way, then go back to the seat bones. Maybe you feel like, wow, I'm really kind of rolling over to one side. So again, just readjust the buttock flesh. Just feel that you can consciously level it out. Lift up into the heart area, drawing the shoulders down. lifting the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, and then come forward, lengthening forwards just again, and it will feel different because you're crossing your legs different. It will feel different in the hips particularly. Keep the head lifted, keep stretching forwards. Keep the seat bones down on the heels by pushing the fingers into the floor. So remaining on fingertips rather than palms of hands. Lengthening out the lower back, lifting up into the chest. Just feeling how the body needs to adapt to the differently placed legs. And then walk yourself back. Come back into a seated position, just staying with the unnaturally crossed legs. Just observe your energy, lifting the heart area upwards. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just holding onto your knees and then turn to the right side. Just maintaining that observation of seat bones lifting up into the heart area, turning. Come back to the center. Lift up into the heart area and turn to the left. Maintaining that connection between the seat bones and the chest. Just working to even out that balance of the seat bones. Just observing that maybe because we're crossing the legs differently, the balance of the turn feels completely different. Maybe it feels all the way off kilter, so you've got to find that levelness again, just feeling from the inside out. And then come back to the center. Just stretch out your legs, just stretch your legs out in front for a moment, just coming into Dandasana, just stretching your legs away. So you can have your knees apart, your feet apart slightly. Just observe where you sit on the seat bones. Maybe you kind of roll onto the back edge of the seat bones. Try to roll onto the front edge of the seat bones, lifting up into the heart area. And bring the feet together. Just see if you can maintain that awareness of the seat bones. And then release. And then come down onto your back. Soles of the feet together, knees apart. Coming into supta, baddha konasana. Just let the feet fall apart initially. Keeping the soles of the feet together gently. And then stretch your arms up to the ceiling, really spreading the fingers, spreading the palm. Interlock the fingers right into the webbing of the hands and turn the palms all the way out. And then lengthen your arms along the floor. Keeping the pose active, keeping the pose active in the feet if there's discomfort in your hips. Pressing the feet together, turning the tailbone in, broadening the abdomen so that the abdominal walls come down to the floor. Lengthen from the hips into the armpits, into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms. So the sequence that we have been doing is about just observing from the inside, observing the feeling and the sensation of the pose. And hopefully this sequence brings freedom from fatigue and energy to the brain, focus to the brain. Keep inhaling what I'm saying, inhaling and out and out, inhalating and out, inhaling and out, exhaling, sorry I can't speak, inhaling and exhaling, inhaling and exhaling, just feeling the chest expanding and releasing. Stretch your arms up to the ceiling again, swap the interlock of your fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then lengthening your arms along the floor. So this active supta baddha konasana is a good alternative to an inversion. So we need to lengthen out from the hips into the shoulders, into the arms, just feeling that stretch into the armpit chest, broadening the chest, extended into the arms. Listen to the breath. And then release your arms, just rest your hands on your lower ribs. And then draw your knees together, pull your knees in towards your chest, just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, just a gentle massage on the spine. And then get your folded blanket, make sure that it's evenly folded, place it under your head. Just come up onto your elbows for a moment, just make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of the mat, and then just rest yourself down into the floor. Allow the physical body to release into the ground. Just feel that you are laying evenly. Just make a single adjustment if you need to make things feel like it's level and even. And then release into the floor, letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs, unhooking them. Allowing the body to become heavy on the floor, but out of that heaviness comes an intense radiating energy from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs. Into the flesh and the skin. Use your in-breath and your out-breath to distribute that feeling of energetic lightness down into the toes, into fingers, into the top of the head. Feeling that there is a balance of lightness within. Basking in that feeling of energetic lightness. And then when you're ready, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bringing yourself back into this pose of shavasana. Bring your knees in towards your chest, just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom, and then gently roll over onto your side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then stretch out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just cross-legged position with the hands in Namaste, just a final spinal lift. Drawing the breath in through the nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you have released this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy, clean, balanced energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the reclining poses bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to seek to acknowledge the positive energy you've created around the heart area. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. And as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully you feel like you've lifted your energy a little and you've also given yourself good, positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.